Hey, it's Steve and welcome back. We haven't had much breakdown around here lately, so it's been a little while since we've done our last video. But as luck would have it, this car, a 2017 Honda Accord, has a warning light, a little yellow exclamation point. Now, what does it mean, and can we take care of it? The answer is yes, and in fact, it's something that even I can do. So, as you can see here, what we have is a exclamation point in orange. It's surrounded by two look like parentheses and a little squiggly line underneath. Now, what does that mean? Well, pull out your manual or go to the internet like most people would do, and you can quickly find it here on this manual. It's page 24, and it indicates that this is a problem with the tire pressure monitoring system. And so it means one of two things. One, it means that you are using a compact spare tire, so maybe you had a flat tire and you replaced it with a temporary one from the trunk. Or it means that the tires are simply underinflated and you need to add some air. So we're going to show you how to do that, how to add the air, and reset this indicator lights in case it doesn't go off after you've added the necessary air. Now, I told you to look at the manual. Now, if you'll notice, in this particular manual, on the page directly before, there is a very similar looking indicator. It's a circle with an exclamation point in the center, also surrounded by a couple brackets. It's in red. In Canada, that is an indicator that your brake system has a problem. So if you're looking at this video in a US model and it's orange, exclamation point means tires. Let's get some air in those tires. So let's get that done. Okay, so the first question is how much pressure should your tires have? Now, on the inside of most modern vehicles, you should have a label, and that label will tell you very specifically how much pressure your tires should have when they're cold. Cold meaning that you haven't been driving around town and heating up the tires on the roadway surface. So this particular car, as you can see here, has a pressure of 33 for the front tires and 32 for the rear tires. Now that assumes that you are using either the original tires that came with the car or that you replace those tires with comparable tires. If you added some tricked out tires or extra size or lower size or whatever, then you need to check your tire itself to find out what pressures you need to be at. All right, the next question then is which tire needs the air? Is it one tire? Is it all the tires? Well, we're going to want to check them all while we're doing this, but we'll work on this one first, which, as you may be able to tell, looks visually low. So we're going to remove our little tire inflation cap, and I have a little device here that you can attach to the tire, and which should tell us how much pressure this tire has. So we'll just plug that in there. And we want to try to do it without letting too much air out of the tire, but that's always a little tricky. You might be able to see that we are pretty low on this tire, really in about the 15 range when we need 33. So when you have a tire that's this low, 15 is like less than half of what we should have. You got to wonder, well, why is it so low, especially in comparison to the other tires? So the next thing I would do is visually inspect the tire to make sure there hasn't been some sort of nail or screw or something else that is causing a slow leak in the tire, which will require replacement or repair at a local shop. So let's do that. Okay, so we're going to check the tire to make sure there's no punctures. Now, you need to be extra careful when you do this. I have my son helping me. He's inside the vehicle. He's going to put the car into neutral, and then we're just going to slowly roll the car back. And I'll check the tire as it rolls. Stay out of the way of the car and be very careful. All right, son, go ahead and let it roll back just slightly. All right, stop. So then I'm going to inspect. A little bit more. Stop. And make sure you inspect all 360 degrees of the tire. At this point, I don't see any obvious signs that there's a leak or a puncture, and so we're going to just move on to reinflating the tire. All right, so you have a couple different choices in terms of refilling your tires. Number one, you can go down to the local service station or gas station. They might have some free air there for you to use. But often is the case nowadays that you have to pay. I think the one down by my house is $2 per. I don't know if it's per tire or what. I won't do it. I won't pay it. I don't like going in and asking the clerk, oh, can I use your air? Can you turn on the machine? So I don't do that. But it is an option. Another option are these portable units that work very similar to what we're going to demonstrate here today. Has a little valve connector here. You put this on and latch it into place. You can set on the device the pressure that you need, and it will inflate the tire to that level of pressure. This particular one, I have a link on it below. Astro I think it's pronounced. I'm not sure, but it linked below. Now, what I'm going to use is an actual compressor. This is a Porter cable, 135 psi. And it's an older unit, so we don't have a link for it, but there's a similar model that looks highly rated that I have put in the description below. Okay, so before we get to the compressor, I'm going to quickly demonstrate the portable unit. And to do that, we'll need to plug it in. So you're going to go to the inside of your car, and in the old cigarette lighter slot, plug this in. Most cars will need to have the car into the on position so that the outlet is powered. Okay, our unit has power. And now we will attach our hose to the valve. Insert that and lock it down. You should not hear any air hissing out of the tire at this point. If you do, then you don't have a good seal, so make sure you get that on there nice and tight. Alright, so the unit now tells us that how much pressure we have in the tire. Right now it's 26.0. We want to raise that to 33, so you have a plus and a minus on here. And we're just going to tick that up until we get to 33. And it remembers the last time I did this at 33, so it just went right straight there. And then we're going to hit the on button, and we're going to hear a bunch of noise, and it's going to start pumping up our tire. So it's going to take a while. We're not going to wait for it to go up another 6 pounds to get to the 33, but that's the idea right there, okay? So we'll disconnect this and we'll switch over to our compressor. Alright, so before we start inflating our tires, we'll make sure our pump is set up. We want our pressure to be set at about 90 to 100. That's the recommended level, and that's where we're at, so we're good to go. If you need to adjust it one way or the other, it's a left or right turn of this knob right below the pressure indicator. Attached to my hose is an Azuno digital tire inflator. And this, again, has the easy to connect nozzle so that you can get it right on your valve and get it a good fit. It has a screen here with the amount of pressure in. You just got to click it into the on position. It does have different measurements, so PSI and a couple other ones. So we want PSI, so that's what we'll use. And we're ready to go. So let's get these tires inflated. Alright, so we have our compressor set to about 90 psi, and we're going to turn on our unit. We're at psi already, so we're good there. And then we're going to attach our hose. And we're ready to inflate. At this point we're at 28.2 psi, and we'll go ahead and give it some air. So we're already up to 33.5. That was just that quick. I'll disconnect, and we're ready to move on to the next tire. Okay, so I'm not going to show every tire, but just worth noting that even though that one tire was notably low and it was down to like 15 pounds, all of the tires on this car were down below where they should have been. This one was about 5 to 7 pounds light. The ones in the back were almost 8 pounds light. So definitely worth checking while you're doing it all at the same time. And that way when you reset your unit, everything gets calibrated correctly. One other thing I wanted to note about this Azuno is the connections that it comes with. Now, a lot of air pumps come with just this fill valve like this. which I found difficult to use. It's hard to get a good seal, and it won't stay in place. Sometimes you end up letting more air out of your tire than goes in if you don't apply sufficient force. So this model and others out there come with this device, which has the latch, so you can get it in there, hook it on, and it will stay in place while you inflate the tires. It's much better. It made the job so much easier, let me tell you. Okay, so we're going to turn the car back on, and we're going to check our indicator light, and of course it is still activated. Now the reason for that is that it hasn't recalibrated. This light is going to come on anytime you rotate the tires, change out a spare, or we try to reset it after low inflation. So we have to go through the recalibration process, and let me show you how to do that. Okay, to reset that light, first thing we're going to do is turn the car to the on position. So the on position is when the lights come on the dashboard, but you haven't actually started the car. It is 2 clicks of the key. All the lights and indicators come on, and you are ready to proceed to the next step. The next step is locating the reset button. So as I'm sitting here in the driver's seat, it is to my left, down, and underneath the dash panel here. It's quite easy to see once you're down low, as you can see here, but otherwise it's not immediately apparent. So get down there, locate it, and then you're going to push and hold for 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. All right, now if you return to your dashboard and you look again, you'll see that that indicator light has gone out, indicating that the recalibration process has begun, and you should be in good shape. Okay, that's it for today. Now I know it was a little long, I'm sure longer than you wanted, but we did cover a lot of territory, including looking at a couple different types of pumps, how to reset the tire pressure management system in the Honda to get that light to go off, and we also checked our tire for punctures. So I hope you found it helpful. Share it with your friends, your kids. You know, not everybody has done this a million times, so it is useful for those that are doing it for the first time. If you did like it, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. We always love subscribers. But until next time, this has been Steve for Things That Even I Can Do.